Hello everyone. Today we'll discuss the anatomy of permanent mandibular first molar. Also, we'll compare the mandibular first molar with the maxillary molars. So we'll be doing the arch traits of the molars and the anatomy of the mandibular first molar. Also, we'll be differentiating the maxillary molars from the mandibular molars. We'll be covering the topic under the following headings: introduction, followed by the tooth numbering system, then the dimensions, followed by chronology, the crown aspects, root, summary. Also, in the end, I have added one quiz. Please attempt the quiz and write the answers in the comment box. Starting with the general description of molars. When we see the mesodistal dimension of molars in mandibular teeth, the mesodistal width of the three molars takes up about 51% of the mesodistal dimension of the quadrant, in comparison to the maxillary teeth, which constitute 44% of their mesodistal dimension in one quadrant. So, if we see the mesodistal dimension of maxillary first molar, second molar, and third molar of one quadrant, that is either from the right or from the left, one side it is 44% of the entire quadrant. However, in cases of mandibular molars, it is about 51% of one quadrant. So, mandibular molars are larger in mesodistal dimension in comparison to maxillary molars. This is the one trait difference in the maxillary and the mandibular arch. When we talk about the functions of molars, it has very major role in the mastication of food, the chewing and grinding of food. So if the first molars are lost, it will lead to the about more than 80 mm of chewing surface gone. So it has a very major role in the mastication in the chewing process. When we study the identifying feature for mandibular first molar, the principal features are the presence of 5 cusps. These cusps are 2 buccal, 2 lingual and 1 distal cusp. The buccal surface is bulky and it has 2 developmental groove which separates the mesiobuccal and distobuccal cusp and distobuccal cusp from distal cusp. Crown is wider mesodistally in comparison to the buccolingual dimension. Also, the occlusal outline is roughly rectangular in shape. There are 2 well-developed roots, one is mesial, one is distal. When we talk about the nomenclature for mandibular first molar, it is 19 and 30 in the universal notation system. In Zsigmondy-Palmer, it is right of 6 and left of 6. And in the FDI system, it is 3-6 and 4-6. This is the best way to represent the nomenclature for any tooth. Just write the quadrants and these numbers and just notify whatever tooth you are writing. So coming on to the chronology, when we talk about mandibular first molar, the beginning of calcification takes place at birth. The crown completion takes place 2.5 to 3 years. Eruption of tooth takes place between 6 to 7 years and root completion 9 to 10 years. To study the dimension of mandibular first molar, the cervico-occlusal length is 7.5. However, the length of root is 14. It has more mesodistal dimension in comparison to the buccolingual dimension. Mesodistally at crown it is 11 and at cervix it is 9. Whereas the buccolingual dimension at crown 10.5, at cervix it is 9. The curvature of the cervical line mesially is 1. However, on this side it is flat or it is 0. So when we compare the arch trait of molars, the maxillary teeth have a square or a parallelogram occlusal surface, whereas in cases of mandibular, it can be rectangular, it can be pentagonal or hexagonal. When we see the dimensions, the maxillary teeth show more buccolingual width in comparison to mesodistal width, whereas in the mandibular teeth, the mesodistal width is more than the buccolingual. So if we compare the maxillary teeth with the mandibular teeth, the maxillary teeth will be wider buccolingually, whereas the mandibular teeth will be wider mesiodistally. This is the main distinguishing feature between maxillary and mandibular molars. Also, when you compare the number and the size of cusp, when you see the maxillary molars will have 4 to 5 cusps. These are mesiobuccal, distobuccal, mesiolingual, distolingual, and cusp of Carabelli, in which mesiolingual cusp is the largest and longest. And also there is a distinguishing feature of maxillary molars, that is the presence of oblique ridge. That is between the distal distobuccal cusp and the mesiolingual cusp. When we see the number and size of cusps in mandibular molars also have 4 to 5 cusps, but here we have mesiobuccal, mesiolingual, mesio distobuccal, distolingual, and the fifth cusp is the distal cusp, which is a minor cusp. Also, when we compare the arch rate of molars, there is a mandibular tilt which is seen in all the mandibular teeth because they are inclined slightly lingually when they are viewed from the proximal aspect. So if we view any tooth of the mandibular arch from their mesial or distal aspect, they'll show slight lingual proclination. So crowns tilt distally related to the long axis of the tooth. When we compare the roots of the molars, the maxillary roots will have mesiobuccal root, distobuccal root, and the palatal roots, and the roots are nearly twice as long as the crown. Therefore, the root length is more in comparison to the crown length, and when we compare the length of the root, palatal root is the longest among all three. Also, the maxillary roots show a convergence into broad cervical root base, which is known as root trunk. In mandibular teeth, there are two roots, mesial and distal. Mesial is slightly longer and the root trunks are shorter in comparison to the maxillary teeth. So, maxillary root trunks will be longer, mandibular will be shorter. Now coming on to the buccal aspect of mandibular first molar. When we see it from the buccal aspect, we can appreciate three cusps: the mesiobuccal cusp, distobuccal cusp, and the distal cusp. From the buccal view, we can appreciate two grooves, one which separates the mesiobuccal from distobuccal, that is the mesiobuccal developmental groove. Another is the distobuccal developmental groove, which separates distobuccal cusp from distal cusp. Also, the width that is taken up by the mesiobuccal and distobuccal cusp of the buccal side is about 80%. That is, only a small amount of distal cusp is visible from the buccal view. When we compare the contact points, the mesial contact point is at the junction of occlusal and middle one third. However, the distal contact point is at the junction of middle third. It is same for all the molars. So we can appreciate in this schematic diagram that there is mesiobuccal cusp. There is mesiobuccal cusp. Then there is distobuccal cusp, mesiolingual cusp, distolingual cusp, distal cusp. There are two developmental grooves seen on the buccal aspect, that is the mesiobuccal developmental groove, distobuccal developmental groove. Then there is a cervical line which is placed concavities towards the apex. And there are two roots visible from the buccal view, the mesial root and the distal root. So when we see the buccal aspect, the buccal cusps are flat occlusally, but the distal cusp is slightly rounded. So these are not pointed. When we see the buccal cusp, they are not pointed, they are flat. And the point of bifurcation of the two roots about 3 mm below the cervical line. So the root trunk is of 3 mm dimension. When we see the lingual aspect, from the lingual aspect, three cusps are seen: distolingual cusp, mesiolingual cusp, and the lingual portion of distal cusp. And on the lingual anatomy, the mesiolingual cusp is the widest mesiodistally, and also it has the highest cusp tip when we compare all the cusps. And the distal cusp is the lowest. So when you see the cusp from the buccal aspect, all cusps are visible, whereas when you view the cusp from the lingual aspect, the mesiolingual cusp being highest, so we cannot see the mesiobuccal cusp from this view. Also, the two cusps which are seen on the lingual anatomy, that is the mesiolingual and the distolingual, they are pointed and they form obtuse angle, whereas on the buccal aspect, the buccal cusps were flat occlusally. Also, there is a developmental groove which is seen on the lingual aspect, which extend downward and it separates the two lingual cusps, and it acts as a line of division between these two cusps. So from the lingual anatomy, we can appreciate mesiolingual cusp, Distolingual cusp, the lingual developmental groove, the cervical line, root trunk, and the two roots, that is the mesial and the distal root. When we see the proximal aspect, the crown is roughly rhomboidal, but there is a slight lingual tilt. So whenever you see mandibular teeth from the proximal aspect, either mesial or distal, there would be an appreciable lingual tilt which can be appreciated either from the mesial side or from the distal side. The buccal outline is convex at the junction of cervical and middle third, and then it is straight till the buccal cusp tip, whereas the lingual outline is less convex and the crest of curvature is at the center. The cervical line is irregular and it is higher lingually than buccally. When you see the mesial aspect, the buccal cusp is flat, as we have already discussed, that the buccal, mesiobuccal and distobuccal cusp are flat occlusally, whereas the lingual cusp are sharp and pointed. Also, mesial marginal ridge is located, which is 1 mm below the level of the cusp tips. So whenever you make carvings for mandibular first molar, you have to keep in mind that the mesial marginal ridges are slightly higher from the level of the cusp tips. They are 1 mm below the cuspal tips. So this is the schematic presentation of the mesial aspect, where you can appreciate the mesiobuccal cusp, which is flat occlusally, mesiolingual cusp, which is sharp and pointed. Then you have mesial marginal ridge, which is 1 mm below the cuspal tips. Then you can appreciate mesial contact area, which is at the junction of occlusal and middle third. Then there is a cervical ridge, which can be seen on the buccal aspect in the cervical third. Then there is cervical line, which is 1 mm on the mesial side. However, on distal it is flat. Also, there is a developmental depression which can be appreciated from the mesial view. Since the mesial root is broader buccolingually, so this is a distinguishing feature for mandibular first molar, that from the mesial view, you can appreciate only one root. Now, when we come to the distal aspect, the crown is shorter distally than mesially. Most of the buccal, lingual and occlusal surfaces can be seen from the distal aspect because there is a distal taper in mandibular molars. So when you see the crown and the root from the distal view, you can appreciate the structures of the mesial outline also. For example, you can see the mesial root also and the mesial cusps also. Also, distal cusp is located buccal to the long axis of the tooth when you draw a line from the center of the axis, and distal marginal ridge is short in comparison to mesial marginal ridge. Cervical line in the distal view is irregular and it is flat almost. So this is how you will appreciate the schematic presentation. You can appreciate the mesiolingual cusp and the mesiobuccal cusp from the distal view because distal cusps are smaller. Also, you can appreciate the mesial marginal ridge, distal marginal ridge. The contact point is at the junction of middle 1/3. Cervical line is almost flat, and from the distal view, you can appreciate both the roots, mesial as well as distal root. Now, starting with the occlusal aspect, when you see the crown occlusally, the shape is roughly rectangular and it is more rounded. And when you compare the dimension, the crown is mesodistally wider than the buccolingual dimension. This we have already discussed. So from the occlusal view, you can appreciate the structures such as 5 cusp, mesiobuccal cusp, distobuccal cusp, mesiolingual cusp, distolingual cusp, and 1 distal cusp. All these cusps have their cuspal ridges, that is mesiobuccal cusp ridge, distobuccal cusp ridge, mesiolingual cusp ridge, distolingual cusp ridge, and distal cusp ridge. These cusps are separated by developmental groove, that is mesiobuccal developmental groove, distobuccal developmental groove. Also, there are fossas bounded by the marginal ridges, which is mesial triangular fossa and distal triangular fossa. All these structures you can very well appreciate in the occlusal anatomy of mandibular first molar. So when you compare the size of the 5 cusps, mesiobuccal cusp is the largest, followed by mesiolingual, then distolingual, then distobuccal, and the smallest is the distal cusp. When you see the developmental groove, there is a central developmental groove which is placed centrally. Then we have mesiobuccal developmental groove which separates mesiobuccal and distobuccal cusp. Then we have a distobuccal developmental groove which divides distobuccal and distal cusp. Then there is a lingual developmental groove which divides the mesiolingual and the distolingual cusp. So we have 4 grooves: central, mesiobuccal developmental groove, distobuccal developmental groove, and lingual developmental groove. Okay, so we have 5 cusps and we have 4 developmental grooves in the occlusal anatomy. When we talk about fossa, in the occlusal anatomy, we'll see 3 fossa. One is the central fossa, and the other 2 fossas are mesial triangular fossa and the distal triangular fossa. The boundary of central fossa is roughly circular and it is bounded by the distal slope of mesiobuccal cusp, both mesial and distal slope of distobuccal cusp, mesial slope of distal cusp, distal slope of mesiolingual cusp, and mesial slope of distolingual cusp. So it is a central fossa which is bounded by the cuspal slopes of all the 5 cusps. Then there are 2 minor fossas, the mesial triangular fossa which is located distal to the mesial marginal ridge, and distal triangular fossa which is located mesial to the distal marginal ridge. So in the anatomy we can appreciate 5 cusps, 4 developmental grooves, 3 fossas, followed by 3 pits. These pits are the deepest point of these fossas. This is a central pit which is located in the center of central fossa, then mesial pit in the mesial triangular fossa, distal pit in the distal triangular fossa. To summarize, the mandibular first molar is the first permanent tooth to erupt in the oral cavity. When you see the mandibular teeth, they are slightly lingually inclined. They are wider mesodistally in comparison to the maxillary teeth. The lingual cusps are higher in comparison to the buccal cusp. Root trunk is less in comparison to maxillary teeth. Also, when you see the anatomy, they have 5 cusps, they have 4 developmental grooves, they have 3 fossa, they have 3 pits in the occlusal anatomy. This is summary of all the aspects. So for today's exercise, there is a quiz. You have to attempt this quiz. You have to name the ridges and write the answer in the comment box, followed by the MCQs. Thank you.